Let's start where most horror stories begin. Not with blood or thunder, but with a trembling badge and a costume held together by hope and hot glue. First convention, first contest, first time realizing that a white craft store top behaves like a haunted curtain the minute you step into fluorescent lighting. You're buzzing anyway. Because the wig sits right, the bodysuit fits, and those crystal tails, the centerpiece, sparkle like you bribed a small moon. You've got exactly 30 seconds on stage. No audio, no do-overs. So you sit outside the room and rehearse poses in your head like flashcards. Muscle memory arrives. Nerves leave. Then the walls betray you. From the next room, a chorus erupts. It's your song, your character's theme, the exact track that made you fall in love with this cosplay in the first place. Your heart sprints, your brain yells go, and your feet obey. You sprint into that other room and hit the chorus you actually know. You're not a dancer. That's fine. Nobody expects perfection at a random dance panel. People cheer, the moment lands, and you duck out with your face on fire and your pulse like a snare drum. Suddenly, the stage doesn't look scary. It looks easy. Your name gets called. The high from that chorus carries you forward. You run out, adrenaline steering the wheel, and without a mic, without a plan, you belt a line like you're on tour. Parentheses, you are not on tour. In a universe with a sense of humor, the punchline drops at your feet, literally. A heavy thud behind you, you turn and see one of your crystal tails on the floor like a defeated comet. For a half second, you go perfectly still. Then you scoop it like it's evidence and exit, heat rising in your cheeks. Dignity held together with the same glue you used for the top. No trophy, no ribbon. But you showed up. That's the first and hardest badge you ever earn. Here's the quiet rule people forget. Cringe isn't a crime. Cringe is the toll booth to courage. You paid it. You're free. But you're not done. You're still riding the glow when two people from earlier find you. They're not smiling. They tell you what you did was inappropriate. You're confused. You apologize because that's what decent people do when they accidentally step on toes. Then a second voice cuts in with the precision of a scalpel. The realization lands like a lead prop. That random dance panel wasn't random. It was a performance. Their performance. Your chorus hop-in wasn't cute. It was a collision. Later, an adult, maybe staff, maybe a parent, tracks you down and keeps going long after the point is made. You apologize again and again. It doesn't matter. It stings anyway. Lesson 1 stamped in red. Ask before you enter a space and assume nothing about the format. Random is a genre at cons, but so is showcase, cover performance, and closed rehearsal. If you're not sure, you peek at the sign, ask the door volunteer, or lurk 2 minutes to see how the room behaves. If you mess up, own it once, apologize once, then step away. It keeps a mistake from becoming a saga. You're allowed to learn. They're allowed to be upset. Both can be true without turning your con into a trial by hallway. And when the universe sees you learning, it throws the next test. This time it isn't about etiquette. It's about infrastructure. Imagine a con that's been around a decade, but somehow still acts like it found out it was hosting yesterday. Tickets drop the Tuesday before, guests get announced the same week. Artists get their "you're in" emails 2 weeks out, as if you can spin a whole booth out of thin air. The schedule, a public Google sheet anyone can edit. Read that again. Anyone can edit. You arrive, and there are no parking signs, no arrows, no building C this way. Food exists, but only if you're a student or faculty. Artist Alley is split into 3 rooms with one small sign that whispers this fact like it's a secret. You trek to a panel, no badge checks. The host never shows. The spreadsheet says 2 different names for the same time slot. You realize you're the only one reporting it. 45 minutes tick by while your enthusiasm reduces to a simmer. You're here for the contest, at least. You're performing, not just walking up his line, so practice matters. Except the room is booked for other panels all day, so rehearsal is a fantasy. You learn the stage dimensions 5 minutes before call time. You discover another competitor's audio got rejected for being 5 seconds long this morning after they had submitted weeks ahead. They scramble, re-edit, re-choreograph, and pray the cuts don't snap their timing like a brittle prop. The show moves to a lecture hall. No MC, judges, 1 pro. At least, awards, printed paper slips, and a choice between a trinket or a bag of candy. You don't hate candy, you hate the message. Performers give hours, days, weeks for a prize table that looks like a checkout lane. You don't need cash to make people feel valued, you need care. Here's the part nobody says out loud. Cons set the tone for how people treat each other. If the schedule is last minute, the signage is a shrug, and the prize is an afterthought, you teach attendees that their time is disposable. You teach artists that their prep is optional. You teach performers that choreography is confetti, and then you wonder why everyone feels frazzled, late, and short. We don't dunk on small cons here, we root for them. Some of the best scenes were born in campus basements and student unions. One of the biggest festivals in Atlanta started as a college con and grew because people took logistics seriously. But we're small is not a permanent excuse. 10 years in, you know better. Or you should. So what do you do as an attendee when an event runs like spaghetti? You insulate your fun. Screenshot schedules, pack external snacks. Plan backups for every panel. You audit the stage. If you're performing, bring your own cues on your phone, print your dimensions, practice in hallways, and assume no rehearsal time. You advocate with receipts, send feedback after with examples and fixes. Praise what worked, document what didn't. Organizers aren't mind readers. Data becomes change. That's the first spiral, from a chorus that wasn't yours, to a tale that hit the floor, to a contest that forgot how to be a contest. It's messy, it's human, and it's exactly how a lot of people's first-year stories sound when you strip away the filter. But that wasn't the whole story. The real chill arrives when the hotel door opens and a stranger decides the hallway is his stage. Con horror doesn't always start with strobe lights or a packed rave. Sometimes it's a thin hotel carpet at 11 p.m., a key you don't have, and a hallway that echoes a little too well. You're laughing because you're stuck outside your room. You're in costume louder than you realize, and the elevator ding keeps promising a friend who isn't there yet. Then a door across the hall swings open. A guy. Shirtless. Not con-coded, not badge-wearing, not there for the fandom, just he scans the outfits like we're props in his lobby spectacle and vanishes. 2 minutes later, the same door opens. A different guy. Shrug. Life continues. Third time, it's the first guy again. Voice flat, intent way too clear, the words are crude, the vibe colder than the AC, the entitlement immediate. Your brain tries to buy time by offering him your age. He doesn't blink. He escalates. The door stays open like a trap. Here's the unglamorous toolkit that actually works when hallways get weird. Distance first, dialogue never. You are not obligated to educate or negotiate. Step away, turn corners, put bodies and doors between you and them. Name it for staff, not the story. Room number, floor, approximate time, description. Shirtless isn't enough. Hair, height, accent, any tattoo or jewelry. Give hotels something useful. Use the triangle of safety. Hotel desk, con-ops, security. Report to at least 2. Hotels can trespass. Cons can revoke badges. Both matter. Don't stand in door frames. If someone opens into your space you've boxed yourself in, maintain the middle of the hallway, not the threshold. Buddy math. 2 people lower your risk. 3 change the math entirely. Creeps prefer ambiguity, groups erase it. Weirdness will happen because cons live inside hotels and hotels live inside real life. You can't control everyone in a building. You can control your pace, your boundaries, and your paper trail. A report isn't drama, it's maintenance. It tells the venue that reputation matters more than one night's room rate. But sometimes the danger doesn't knock, it wedges itself into a tiny square of stainless steel and lights. Embassy-style hotels are labyrinths wrapped around a glass atrium. Pretty in the afternoon, intimidating at midnight. You hit the elevator with relief because the lobby means friends, light, noise, staff, civilization. Doors open, you exhale. Then the pack rushes in. Loud, tall, all edge, one arm shoots across the door to cage the space, fingers splay on the panel, and every button lights up like a countdown. There's a line, a smirk, a hand where it shouldn't be. Your stomach drops. Fight or flight doesn't ask for your opinion. It just starts. What saved the day wasn't a perfect speech. It was friction, a stubborn door pried back open, a bolt for the stairs, gravity doing you a favor for 13 floors. A full sprint into the convention center where the noise becomes a shield and a familiar face becomes a checkpoint. Then the essentials: report to con staff, report to hotel security, log the incident while memory is fresh. You shake through the panel and still make it work. That's not luck. That's resilience with receipts. Tactics that turn elevators from traps into pass-throughs. Let groups go first. If a loud pack is approaching, step back, catch the next car. 30 seconds beats 30 floors of risk. Face the door, not the crowd. You want daylight, witnesses, exits. If someone cages the buttons, you're still already angled to leave. Name a destination. I'm going to the front desk to report this. Predators fear documentation. Stairs are not defeat, they're strategy. In atrium hotels, stairs run quiet and straight. The lobby is always a gravity assist away. Some people will say, it's just boys being boys. No, it's men testing boundaries where they think the rules loosen. But cons are not lawless zones. They're communities with norms. If you report, you aren't ruining anyone's weekend, you're reinforcing everyone's safety. The buddy system isn't corny, it's the oldest crowd control tech we have, and it works. Some props feel like they hold more soul than fabric ever could. A month of sanding, sealing, painting, and it all collapses in a blink. Imagine you're in Artist Alley, wallet in hand, prop leaning against the table for just a second. A staffer had already broken it once during bag check. You ran to grab super glue and performed emergency surgery. Now, when you reach back down, it's gone. Not misplaced, not hidden, vanished. You ask around, panic swallowing your chest. No one saw it. Staff shrug. It never returns. The costume still exists. The character still lives. But the axe? That was hours of your life, days of your focus, swallowed by a stranger's hand. That's why cosplayers walk the floor hugging props like life preservers, because theft isn't petty, it erases proof of effort. Practical survival: tag your props, tape with your handle on badge number, or initials in hidden spots. Easier to ID at lost and found. Never lean, prop stand, hang, or strap, floors are black holes. Document the build, photos aren't just for pride, they're insurance. Staff take reports more seriously when you can show receipts. Props vanish, but sometimes they break while you're still holding them. And sometimes, heartbreak comes with a ring hidden in your pocket. Con crunch is brutal by itself. Finals week, no sleep, 4 all-nighters in a row. Add in a fiancé, a shared cosplay duo, and wings held together with hot glue. That's stress cosplay turned performance art. The day arrives. The wings crumble in the prejudging line, forcing you to sew and duct tape them together on the spot. Build books, forgotten. Wig, 2 hours away in a dorm. Nerves, already shredded. And in the middle of this chaos, your fiancé doesn't know there's a ring in your pocket. You coordinated with staff the night before for an on-stage proposal. You wanted the wings perfect, the wig flawless, the moment polished. Instead, you're half broken, exhausted, and barely stitched together. But when the performance ends, the ring still shines. The yes still happens. The cosplay may not win, but the story does. Lesson carved in glue burns: perfect builds don't equal perfect memories. Sometimes the duct tape version is the one you tell forever. Crunch doesn't always come from deadlines. Sometimes it comes from pets. You've poured money into suede, leather, custom fabrics. You're 90% finished. Then you smell it before you see it. The sick cat decided the cosplay was the new litter box. Diarrhea, suede, and deadlines do not mix. You scrub, it's ruined. The wedding you're in is tomorrow. The con, 5 days away. So you cry in private. Then you hit the fabric store. You buy cheaper substitutes. You work 5 straight days and nights with no sleep, fueled by spite and caffeine. The result isn't what you dreamed, but it exists. You walk on stage. You try to spin in stilettos you've never worn before. You fall flat. In front of everyone, the judges hand you a small award anyway, not for craftsmanship, but for grit. The cursed cosplay still gave you a ribbon, and the cat eventually recovered. This is the core of Con Crunch. The build is cursed, the timing is impossible, your body breaks, but somehow you push through. You're not just judged on fabric, you're judged on surviving the week. Props stolen, wings taped, cats conspiring, crunch is bad enough. But when wigs collapse, migraines hit, and strangers treat your costume like a free photo op, the horror shifts from fabric to etiquette. Every cosplayer knows wigs have weight. But Miku wigs? That's a migraine waiting to happen. Hours in line, judges running late, nerves already raw, and then gravity wins. The petticoat slips down mid-performance. The wig digs in like an anchor, and you don't even realize until the video playback reveals the wardrobe mutiny. You soldier through anyway, but the cost comes later. The migraine spikes. You make it to the parking garage before your body quits. You vomit, drag yourself into the car, and white-knuckle the drive home. Here's the thing. Competitions don't show the aftermath. You see the stage lights, the poses, the applause. You don't see the ice packs, the missed meals, the body rebelling after 12 hours of pretending to be bulletproof. Cosplay isn't just performance. It's endurance. And sometimes the scariest part isn't the stage fall. It's realizing your health has limits you can't hot glue shut. Artist alley, a busy aisle, your friends across the room, a tap on the shoulder. You turn, camera flash. A man in his 30s, head to toe in that infamous Ahegao print shirt. Pants the works. He mutters gorgeous, snaps the shot, and walks off before you can even pose or react. At first, confusion, later dread. This is how etiquette gets twisted. Photography at cons isn't just about angles, it's about consent. Can I take a picture isn't a formality. It's the baseline of respect. Cosplayers aren't props in a theme park. They're people in costumes, and people get to say yes or no. What to remember, you're allowed to decline. No thanks is a complete sentence. Ask first, always. Even if you're in cosplay yourself. Creepy attire, camera, no permission, reportable behavior. Cons can and should remove people who cross lines. A quick photo might feel harmless to the taker, but to the person being snapped, it can echo for years. Not every horror is life or death. Sometimes it's just gross men with bad pickup lines. Like the Dragon Con elevator where a cosplayer's daring outfit earned her a stranger's smirk and a crude compliment whispered inches away. Nice bleep. She wasn't flattered, she wasn't amused, she was trapped in an elevator and forced to hear her body reduced to a punchline. That's the unspoken weight of cosplay horror stories. They aren't just about falling props, bad wigs, or cursed crunch. They're about boundaries, crossed, tested, or ignored. They're about the gap between the joy of embodying a character and the fear of being treated like an object. The truth is, every con comes with a gamble, but the payoff? The community, the shared jokes, the applause, the memories you tell years later, it's worth the chaos. Horror stories don't stop people from cosplaying. They just prove how much heart people pour into it. So if you ever find yourself on stage with your tail on the floor, remember, cringe isn't fatal. Courage is contagious. And the best way to honor these stories? Learn the lessons, set your boundaries, report the creeps. Laugh at the chaos and keep showing up. Because cosplay isn't about being flawless, it's about being fearless.